Hey, greetings, guys. Welcome to Mzansi and USA News. It's that time once again. This election is about survival, says the DA advert. Listen to this, check this out.
In this election, for the first time in 30 years, the ANC will lose its majority, but they will do anything to stay in power. Imagine a coalition between the ANC, the violent EFF, and the Zuma faction. Under this coalition of corruption, life will only get worse. This election is about survival. Unite to rescue South Africa. Vote DA.
Powerful advert, right? That depicts the status of our country and how that our country is burning right before our eyes, right? Powerful. You can't fault the advert. Correct? Yes? No? Well, listen to what the president thinks about the advert.
The flag of our country is a sacred article in the life of our country. It is that flag that unites all of us. It is despicable that a political party can, as it seeks to express itself, go and burn the symbol of our unity, the symbol of our existence as a nation. And I think it is treasonous because anybody, particularly an organization that does something like that for political expediency, should really be ashamed of themselves, because it is the most despicable political act that anyone can embark upon, particularly when they are campaigning for votes, because you're voting now for a party that wants to destroy South Africa, that wants to destroy the symbol that unites all of us. And what will you be voting for? Because all we want is to build South Africa, to unite the people of South Africa around the flag. People die for the flag of a nation. People, they rally around the flag of a nation. And it is about us. And so they are destroying that unity, that identity that we all have.
So you had the president of the people, right? Is he telling the truth? Look at his face. Look at how serious he wants you to take the issue of the flag. Listen, all of us know that that is an advert. The DA did not ban any flag. That is an advert, and the advert is demonstrating really, guys, here is what ought to be a frustration to all of you. We are number one in rape in the world. You don't believe me? We are number one in we're number 3 in murder in the world. We are number 1 in what do you call this? Come on, unemployment rate. As a matter of fact, let me show it to you. We are number 1 in unemployment rate in the world. South Africa is number 1 in unemployment in the world. This is what it means to burn the country down. Okay? Sewage is stinking all over Gauteng. There's sewage in the Umgeni River. There's sewage in eThekwini. There's sewage in the beaches. People couldn't swim this past December. There's sewage in the Vaal River. What do you call that if it is not burning the country down? There's potholes the size of my cars all over this Gauteng. Go to Alexander. It's unlivable. Go to Deep Sloot. Go to Hillbrow. The country is indeed burning down. Children are dying of nyaope, of drugs. There is lawlessness. You have Gele for a minister of police, a commissioner who was dismissed in 2012 for being involved in some sort of alleged corruption scandal of buildings to a value of 1.5 billion. So our country is indeed burning down. Consider that how much tax we pay in this country as pay as you earn, as VAT and fuel hikes. Our petrol price is sitting at 25 rands, 15 cents, which is a far more expensive, comparatively speaking, to what it was in 2018 when this man took over a presidency, right? Now, how can you look at all of those things and saying that the country is not burning down. And you say that the flag is the one that unites all of us. So them stealing 500 billion during COVID is not something that was treasonous. Him signing vaccines, as a matter of fact, you know what? Let me show you two things. I'm going to show you what he did, which should be considered as treasonous. That is what Ramaphosa did, that should be considered as treasonous. And then secondly, I will show you our statistics in terms of how we look like as far as employment. Check this out. Before I show you what I said I was going to show you, I thought it necessary to show you a definition of treason in South Africa. You see here, it says in South Africa, treason remains a common law offense. The crime of high treason is defined as any conduct unlawfully committed by a person owing allegiance to a state with the intention of overthrowing the government of the republic, coercing the government by violence into any action or inaction, violating, threatening, or endangering the existence, independence, or security of the republic, changing the constitutional structure of the republic. Did you observe that there is no burning of a flag there? Did you see that? Because burning a flag, even if you were to burn it literally, it is not treason. How can it be when in our parliament, a Floyd Shivambu was allowed to raise a Cuban flag right inside our parliament? How can an advert that seeks to amplify a point of our suffering that our people are going through right now as we speak, how can that be treasonous? How can it be treasonous to tell the truth? To Cyril and all those who have taken crazy tablets, who are holding their emotions or their hearts in their mouth, I want to say this to you. Facts do not care about your emotions. South Africa is being run down by your government. We have porous borders. We have got foreigners that are undocumented all over our country who are perpetrating crimes. You look at Randburg CBD, it's being run down by foreigners. You look at Hillbrow, you look at Sunnyside in Pretoria, you go everywhere in our country. As far as Port Elizabeth, there are foreigners everywhere. How did they get there? Porous borders. I'm not talking about legal migrants. I'm talking about illegal migrants. And this, Mr. President, is what it means to run a country down. So youth unemployment. Check this out. Please check what I put on my Google. Highest unemployment rate in the world. That's all that I put there. I didn't necessarily put any country, but observe what I get. The world's 5 highest unemployment rates at the end of 2022. Latest information were in Africa and occupied Palestine. South Africa, 29.8. Djibouti, 27.9. West Bank and Gaza, 24.7. Eswatini, can you see that? So clearly, and by the way, that was doing 9.8% as of 2022. Right now, we know it's more than 50%, right? That is exactly what it means to burn the country down. This is what it means to burn the country down. Not symbolically talking about it, because remember, if you took a country that has the highest unemployment and you combine that this unemployment is 50% of the youth are unemployed, that means the youth are roaming the streets. That then immediately explains why we are number 1 in rape in the world. That explains why we are number 3 in murder in the world. I can show you that statistics as well if you so desire, but you can check it out for yourself. But this unemployment affects these 2 other areas, particularly when the youth are that high. Now, I said I'll show you 2 more things. I want 2 more things. Here's the unemployment, which was 1. The other one is what Ramaphosa did to commit treason. That is now shifting to the DA by simply showing us an advert that emulates what the current situation we find ourselves in because of the ANC is equivalent to. That is why he's so upset. He's upset because the DA is telling the truth about the state of our country that has been imposed on the country by these communists. That's why he's angry. He realizes that what that message is saying is actually true. Check this out. Now, I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to play for you right now, because you may miss it if you're not paying attention. This is a presentation in England's Parliament. And this gentleman, as he presents his case to his own parliament, ends up talking about what our own president here in South Africa did. Listen to this.
Sources of data, excess deaths, to determine if there is an issue. But first of all, I want to address safe and effective. The fear deliberately stoked up by the government promoted the idea of being rescued by a saviour vaccine. The chanting of the safe and effective narrative began. The phrase seemed to hypnotise the whole nation. Madam Deputy Speaker, safe and effective was the sales slogan of thalidomide. And after that scandal, rules were put in place to prevent such marketing in future by pharma companies, and they're prohibited from using safe and effective without significant caveats. But that didn't matter this time, because with COVID-19 vaccines, the media, the government and other authorities turned into big pharma's marketing department. And it's very hard now to hear the word safe without the echo of the word effective. But they're not safe and effective. In March 2021, when the majority of UK citizens had already received these novel products, Pfizer signed a contract with Brazil and South Africa, in which the contract says the long-term effects and efficacy of the vaccine are not currently known, and adverse events from the vaccine are not currently known. That's verbatim from the Pfizer contracts.
Did you guys hear that? President Ramaphosa signed a contract for vaccines, where in the contract it states in black and white that the effects of these vaccines are not currently known. And the long-term effects on those who take them are also not currently known. He wants us to believe that an emulation, a dramatization of a burning of a flag reflecting the state of our country is treason. But him going and signing deadly poisons that have led to thousands and millions of excess deaths all over the world. That's why this hearing is holding, by the way, in England, for that matter. That's why this gentleman is presenting this. And this is not an anti-vaxxer. This guy is double vexed. He wants us to believe that it is perfectly okay and normal for a president to sign that people should receive in their blood system something that it is not known. So using human beings as lab rats, that's not treason for a president to sign. But presenting a scenario and dramatizing a flag banned, there was no flag banned by the DA, to make a point, that is treason. Even though you saw in the initial definition that I showed you for treason that banning of a flag is not regarded as treason. But just because he says so, that is treason. That is absurd. I'm sorry, that is absurd. Facts do not care about your emotions. Not at all. And South Africans need to wake up from the propaganda of the African National Congress. Need I remind you what Cyril Ramaphosa and his government have done? Need I remind you? Please go through my channel. I've got multiple videos where I have told the story of what the ANC and how the ANC has destroyed this country from within. As a matter of fact, I'm going to attach 2 of those videos on this very video in the description below. But as for the flag being a uniting point and we ought to be so in awe of it, no, sorry, some of us serve God. We do not idolize. We are not into idolatry. We love our country, but we don't idolize our country. And for all those people who are united by the flag, well, that's your problem. You don't speak on behalf of all South Africans. You're speaking on your own behalf. It's good, of course, we identify with the flag when we play the Springbok, the Bafana Bafana, or whatever the case may be. The flag is a symbol that represents a particular country for a specific purpose, but it doesn't unite us. What unites us is, what is it, the ethos of this country? What do we stand for? Then the flag will become the symbol of what we stand for. Right now, what do we stand for? BEE? employment equity, catered deployment. What do we stand for right now? It is erroneous to create an impression that black people are a monolith and white people are the ones dividing us. That is a lie of the ANC of Ramaphosa and Jacob Zuma. The ANC of Thabo Mbeki and Nelson Mandela did not tell this lie. It focused on the Freedom Charter that said South Africa belongs to all those who live in it, black and white. And this Freedom Charter was adopted in 1953. Very, very important. Any ANC that has the current message that the current crop are spreading is not the original message for which people fought and died for. It is very, very important for South Africans to educate themselves. We did not fight for black domination. If you go to Rolihlahla's speech in Rivonia trial, this is one of the things that he said out of his mouth. My Lord, it is an ideal for which, in fact, I don't have to tell you what he said. You can Google it yourself. But in that speech, he said, I have fought against white domination. I have fought against black domination. This is what is the ideal for which he said he was prepared to lay his life down for, if need be. But he's hoping to live and cherish it. And right now, and by the way, this is the same dream that Martin Luther King Jr. had, where people are not judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. Okay? The ANC and the EFF have been very divisive, but the EFF is just a baby of the ANC. The ANC for the past 30 years has been very, very divisive in its politics to seek to divide this country since Mbeki lost presidency from Zuma. They have been so divisive. But it is important for us to understand, very, very important, that white people are not a monolith. Black people are not a monolith. We can indeed come together if we've got common values. We can't just come together because we have a common flag. No, not at all. Not at all. We can come together if we've got common values, we've got a vision for the country, then that flag become a representation of that vision. For an example, we know what the flag of America represents. It's the land of the brave. It's the land of the free, right? The home of the brave. When you think about South Africa, what do you think about? When you see South African flag, what do you think about? What do you think about? So this notion and propaganda that they are now spreading, oh, the flag unites us. Oh, it's like when we see the flag, we have this lovey-dovey feeling. No, there is no such a thing. There's no such a thing. Not at all. It's a desired state. We have not reached that state, and we probably would have reached that state had we continued in Rolihlahla's vision of a rainbow nation. But we did not continue. When the ANC keeps on reminding us about what happened during apartheid, when they want to serve cosmic justice to people who are alive on behalf of those who died 300 years ago, we do not have a rainbow nation. This is very, very important. When they are spending all their lives, including our lives and our time, fighting wars that took place 300 years ago, 250 years ago, instead of living in the now, and they are propagandizing our children and the entire society and dividing it simply because of their ineptitude, their inability to govern, their inability to provide service, their inability to take their hands off the cookie jar and stop stealing money that doesn't belong to them. When their corrupt tendencies do not enable them to deliver services to the people, and they keep on blaming apartheid, and they think all of us are falling for that, and then they are going to come up and have this false outrage that, oh, the DA banned the flag. That's an advert, first and foremost. And everybody knows that an advert is not reality. It's a dramatized effect to unearth the reality. Our reality is what I have told you in this video. We have got more than 50% youth that are unemployed. We are number 1 in rape in the world. We are number 3. That is a point of outrage. If you are not outraged by that, you are outraged by a flag. I'm sorry, I don't share your sentiments. And I'm as South African as you are. There is absolutely no evil. You have no better moral standard to judge the advert of the Democratic Alliance as far as I'm concerned. But we have every right to judge you for stealing our money that we pay for tax. We have every right to judge you for not making the police available to stop the crime that is taking place in our country, to reduce the murder, to reduce the rape, to make our streets and schools safe. We have every right to judge you for that. Okay? Guys, we have a country to save from these communists. Do not forget that. Go out there in large numbers on the 29th of May and say no to this communist takeover. Okay, until the next video, ciao, ciao. Bye for now.